Welcome to the City Council meeting for Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. Thank you for coming. We will have a time later on for public input with a 3-minute duration. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Council President Sparks,
Here.
Councilmember Banks,
Here.
Council Vice President Wilkie,
Yes, sir.
Councilmember McKay,
Here.
Councilmember Closey,
Here.
Councilmember Wheeler,
Here.
Councilmember Mize,
Here.
Councilmember Canopy.
Here.
Thank you. The approval of the minutes of May 13th, 2025.
Your Honor, I would move to approve the minutes of May 13th, 2025.
Second.
Motion made by Vice President Wilkie, seconded by President Sparks. Any public comment? Council discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 8-0. Under correspondence, we have the reappointment of Ron Bennett to the City County Planning Board. And we have a letter from Montana Leagues of City and Towns Annual Conference correspondence. Do we have any council disclosure of ex parte? No public hearing. Are there any council requests to remove anything from the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda for May 27, 2025.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Closey, seconded by Vice President Wilkie. Any public comment? Council discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 8-0. Nothing on the ceremonial calendar. You have the reports of boards and commissions of the Budget and Finance Committee and the Emergency Services Committee. We now move to audience participation with a 3-minute limit. Does anybody have anything to say? Okay, moving on. We have the appointment of Christopher Schaff to the Laurel Police Department.
All right, good, excuse me. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. As I was here last week, I read you my letter in regards to Mr. Schaff here on the appointment of the newest member of the Laurel Police Department, and we are now here before you if any of you have any questions for him. If not, what's that?
What? We have to do the motion and
Yep.
vote first. Okay, no questions?
Mr. Mayor, I would move to approve your appointment of Christopher Schaff to the Police Department.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Mize. It's just Sparks here. Seconded by Vice President Wilkie. Any public comment? Council discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 8-0. Chief, or interim chief.
Would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend,
that I will support,
protect,
protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Montana,
and the Constitution of the State of Montana,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right. right. So Chris, I am going to read you the code of ethics. Normally, with how long it is, I will read it, and at the end, you can swear. Okay. My fundamental responsibility as a public safety officer is to serve the community, safeguard lives and property, protect the innocent, keep the peace, and ensure the constitutional rights of all are not abridged. I will perform my duties impartially, without favor or ill will, and without regard to status, sex, race, religion, creed, political belief, or aspiration. I will treat all citizens equally and with courtesy, consideration, and dignity. I will never allow personal feelings, animosities, or friendships to influence my official conduct. I will enforce or apply all laws and regulations appropriately, courteously, and responsibly. I will never employ unnecessary force or violence and will use only such force in the discharge of my duties as it is objectively reasonable in all circumstances. I will refrain from applying unnecessary infliction of pain or suffering and will never engage in cruel, degrading, or inhumane treatment of any person. Whatever I see, hear, or learn, which is of a confidential nature, I will keep in confidence unless the performance of my duty or legal provisions requires otherwise. I will not engage, nor will I condone any acts of corruption, bribery, or criminal activity, and will disclose to the appropriate authorities all such acts. I will refuse to accept any gifts, favors, gratuities, or promises that could be interpreted as favor or cause me to refrain from performing my official duties. I will strive to work in unison with all legally authorized agencies and their representatives in the pursuit of justice. I will be responsible for my professional development and will take reasonable steps to improve my level of knowledge and competence. I will at all times ensure that my character and conduct is admirable and will not bring discredit to my community, my agency, or my chosen profession. Do you so solemnly swear?
I do.
Congratulations. Again, thank you, everyone.
Council Vice President Wilkie.
Thank you. Chris, it's an honor and a pleasure to see you standing here in front of me because I've known you for a long, long time, and it's a big pleasure. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay. Is this the family? Okay. Welcome. All right, thanks. Moving on, we have resolution R25-31. It's a resolution of the City Council authorizing the mayor to execute an amendment to task order number 2 with Triple Tree Engineering, Inc.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution number R25-31.
Second.
Motion made by President Sparks, seconded by Vice President Wilkie. Public comment? Council discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes 8-0. Next, we have resolution R25-32, a resolution of the City Council authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement for provision of fire services for the Rural Fire District number 8.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to approve resolution number R25-32.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Canopy, seconded by Vice President Wilkie. Public comment? Council discussion? Council President Sparks?
Yeah, I have a couple questions about the contract, and this is probably more for you, Chief Hopper. So it sounds like there were no changes to this. Is that including the fee in this? There were no changes?
Mr. Mayor and Council, thank you. Yes, we didn't make any changes this year because every year since I've taken over as chief, we have increased them. This year, we're looking at combining some districts. So we chose not to increase any of the rates this year because we're looking at combining District 7, District 5, and LUFSA, and potentially some of the Molt area, Homewood Park and up the canyon. We still have to meet with Molt again. They have some questions about it. How that's gonna look. So we don't know about the Molt part yet or the Homewood Park. We've met with District 7 and and LUFSA are good with merging to make one big district. We're gonna meet with District 5 again to see if they want to come. They don't have to, but as small as District 5 is, it's probably in their interest to join because they're going to be joining a big district. So them off by themselves, they pay X amount of dollars, but by joining the bigger district, theirs may drop a little bit. LUFSA 7 could increase, or probably is going to stay about the same just because of the amount of homes in that area. District 8 is our district to the south. District 8 is what we share with Carbon County. I reached out to the fire warden of Carbon County to see if they were interested, because there's nothing that says that they couldn't be a part of the district also. But that butts up to Joliet's fire district. I haven't heard back from District 8 yet. So like I said, we've increased them every year. This year we decided to just stay flush. These other districts come in and if you noticed in the past, it's been 3-year contracts. And when I came in as chief, Brittany can probably attest to this, we've been renewing them every year so that we have the option to raise it or leave it the same. If I remember right, when we raised it last, it was 10%, 25. Okay. The first year, I think we did 10. The second year that I was chief, we did 25. So we've increased them a considerable amount from what they were. And if you look at our call volume's in the city or in LUFSA. And LUFSA and District 7 are very willing to join. And if you're wondering the reason why we want to join the districts, because right now we're reporting to 15 board members, right? Because there's 5 people on each one of the boards. If we combine all of those, then we only have to report to, you have to have 5 people on the board. So then we'd only be basically like reporting to you guys as a council. Then you can have 1 meeting a quarter rather than 3 meetings a quarter. And then it's a lot cleaner too. I can't speak for the ambulance right now, but once we get the fire boundaries established, it'll be a lot easier for the ambulance to just incorporate those same boundaries.
Councilmember Closey, did you have something?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. What do you base these increases on? Do you have some kind of a formula or?
We've done it off of the ones that we've did up until this year. We did it off of the amount of calls, right? And then prior to me, and Brittany can speak to this too, because she's been doing it a long time. It was anywhere from 1% to 3%, I believe, that they were increased. If so, we felt that in 2 years, we did a 35% increase. So this year, for the ease of things working with, because this all has to go through the county commissioners too, right? It's got to go through the county commissioners. It's got to go through the county GIS. It's got to go through the assessors are the ones that, figure the mills and everything. So for the ease of things this year, we just left everything flush. If we can get these all joined up, and then next year when we come back to contract time, then we're gonna look and say, okay, where are we sitting at for the years going forward? And at that time, I'm a firm believer in leaving it at a year. Cause you have that, maybe next year, like this year, we're at, I think we're at 217 calls right now for the year. And last year we were in probably 160 or 170-ish. So calls are increasing, but a lot of our calls are on that interstate car crashes. So that's my method to my madness. I don't know if that helps you with your question.
President Sparks?
So just to follow up on that, so this is specifically for District 8, so this isn't one of the ones that's being looked at combining at the moment?
We've gave them the option to join if they want to.
Mhm.
We haven't heard back from them yet.
Okay, so this would be moving forward as a standalone district, right? Like we would address combining them if and when they ever responded.
Yeah, when they.
Did you give them a deadline?
I did not give them a deadline. I put it out there to them, cause the county didn't really give us, a deadline that say you have to have a drop dead
Sure.
time to do this. Derek Yeager's been the one that's just been assisting us with, combining them. So we did not set a drop dead time.
One more follow-up. So, just as a follow-up and where my thought process is and my rationale, totally understand that we've done some pretty big percentage increases in the past couple of years. This is still a pretty minor contract. We're talking $8,900 for a year for an entire district to pay. Past increases of 1 to 3, maybe 5% isn't really keeping up with cost of inflation or increase in gas, both of which have gone up significantly recently. I'm not comfortable with a contract that doesn't have an increase in it to keep up with the cost that the city is incurring when we're responding to those districts.
I disagree on that because the city is not paying their full share of fire service. A lot of it's coming from the districts. A lot of that money that's in the account, because all that money goes to the general fund. It doesn't come just to the fire department. So the city is getting a heck of a deal on their fire service because all these districts are putting all that money in. I don't know off the top of my head, Brittany might, of what the districts bring in a year.
450,
Yeah.
460, maybe even more.
And my total budget is under 500,000. So the city's getting a really good deal for fire service off of these districts. So I increased them 10%. I increased them 35%. That's a pretty big increase in 2 years. And District 8 was one of those. They all got the same. I had to go back and forth with District 5 a little bit because they had some questions why we were raising it so much. When I brought to them that, hey, the cost of gas, the cost of diesel is going up. And if you look at the number of calls that we go in that District 8, it's not much. It's a minimal amount. You also have the Airport Authority and you have Yellowstone Boys and Girls Ranch that are 2 other contracts. We have a mutual aid agreement with CHS. That's not a contract. That's a mutual aid agreement. They just give us money for being a mutual aid partner to them. And they increased that I think it was the last year that they increased that. They doubled that. So I, in good faith, am not going to raise those. If the mayor tells me I have to raise it, then I will.
I can't tell you that.
But
These 8 have to.
I did 35% in 2 years. That's a pretty big increase to those guys for the amount of calls that they get.
Councilmember Mize?
Thank you. Chief, is there any way to know, compared to other districts outside of Laurel, like if we're in a pretty comparable range to what fire districts pay, or if we are maintaining a rate comparable?
We could probably get some of that. Districts are they're a unique thing, right? So Columbus is a fire district as a whole. But the way Columbus does it is they're a district that contracts back to the city. So the city of Laurel, if it was like Columbus, the city of Laurel would be like a district. You would be contracting, the city of Laurel would be contracting to the district. So that's how, like Columbus, Red Lodge is set up similar. And that's how those guys can go out and do the wildland stuff in the summertime. Because that money is coming back and going into an enterprise. If you're a full-on district, you can set it up you can set your stuff up as an enterprise. So that comes back to the fire service as a whole. Rather than get spread throughout the city.
And the chief and I have had multiple conversations about possibly setting our fire company up as its own district. And if we could financially do that to where, you know, we pay in just like a district, because like you said, the bulk of the money in their department comes from other districts. The other, you know, it would be a matter of a lot of, Michelle, you could probably say some, you know, clear some, but they would have to buy the equipment back from us, so we wouldn't have to pay for, what would you say, 5 to 10 years, something like,
You just
depending
have
on
to
the
have-
value of the equipment.
You have to
and-
have the equipment assessed, right?
And
Let the-
so,
And it's a huge process.
Sure. yeah.
Huge process. Yeah.
but that's just some thoughts that him and I have been talking about, maybe down the road. So, you know.
Our calls in District 8 are, I don't have the numbers. I didn't know that I was gonna come to this tonight, so I would have had those numbers. But our calls in District 8 are pretty minimal. It'd be more wildland, a little bit of vehicle accident stuff on used to be big before they put that bypass in. And now that that's in, knock on wood, it's been a minute since we've been.
Is that a smaller district or is it a
It's a
medium size?
It's a smaller district. So they assess a district off of the property in it, right? And a like a fire service area is the amount of buildings, could be outbuildings, could be residential, it could be. So that's how they assess those.
So are you mutual aid at the county line or,
If they call.
right?
So
So you're
our,
only from Laurel to the county line?
we go
and-
into Carbon County a little bit.
Okay,
Yep, or we break over into Carbon County because that like that Beartooth, like where those trailers are that are out on 212, like that it's like a modular home park.
oh, that's a Krug subdivision?
Like in that, that's all in our area. Joliet comes right up to that.
Anything else? Okay. Anything else for the chief? Thank you for coming on
Yep.
such short notice.
Absolutely, no problem.
I thought with
Yep.
you, with this on, you might want to be here, so.
Yep, and if there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer them, but that was the reasoning for what we did this year.
Any more council discussion? It was moved and seconded. Did I already say that? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Roll call. Council President Sparks,
No.
Councilmember Banks,
Yes.
Council Vice President Wilkie,
Yes.
Councilmember McKay,
Yes.
Councilmember Closey,
No,
Councilmember Wheeler,
Yay.
Councilmember Mize,
Yes.
Councilmember Canopy.
Yes.
Passes 6-2. Thank you. Next, we have a resolution. Chief, do you gotta go on that call? Oh. Next, we have resolution R 25-33, a resolution of the city council authorizing the mayor to execute an independent contractor service contract with Independent Inspection Service. This Matt had brought up last week, the divers going in to inspect our tanks. So,
Mr. Mayor, I would move to approve resolution number R 25-33.
Second.
motion made by Councilmember McKay, seconded by Vice President Wilkie. We have any public comment? Any council discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Carries 8-0. No items removed from the consent. Any community announcements? We have a 1-minute limit. Council discussion? Ooh, Councilmember Banks, I seen that hand go up. I thought, oh, no, okay. Have no mayor updates to say. Unscheduled matters, adjournment.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adjourn the council meeting.
Second.
Motion made by Councilmember Banks, seconded by Councilmember Mize. Public comment? Council discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? We are dismissed.